Welcome to the Jackson Cloud. I'm Jamin.
I'm Casey.
And I'm Olivia.
And we are continuing our story today.
On sheep?
On sheep.
Is this going to be a bad story?
Get out. Don't give him the satisfaction.
Yeah,
of
all I
laughing.
have to say to that is ew.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, all right. Let's not be so fluffy about this. As soon as Rachel had born Joseph, which is where we ended our last episode, Jacob said to Laban, his deceitful trickster of an uncle, "Send me away, that I may go to my home and country. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served you, that I may go." I don't know why he's Canadian. "For you know the service that I have given you."
Stop.
Just normal.
But Laban said to him, "If I have found favor in your sight, I have learned by divination that the Lord has blessed me because of you." All right, let's pause there and take a look at Olivia's face. Clearly asking for more details.
This family man,
No,
they drive me crazy.
He's not a family man. That's kind of the problem.
No, this family, man, they drive me crazy.
Oh, yeah, Uncle Laban. So there's a question here, because we're like, what do you mean through divination? One way or another, Laban has realized that Jacob has a lot of blessings and that God's got his back.
Well, yeah,
Yes,
because he
he's
made an
very
entire
fruitful.
army through children.
Yeah, look at his family, look at his livestock, look at whatever else, I don't know. One way or another, he's figured it out. Now, the word that we have, like a straight translation, would be divination. And it very well could be, which means some way, shape, or form he's gone to ask of spiritual beings what's going on in his world and why this has happened. A lot of commentators instead kind of opt to say that that this expression could be translated just like, "I become rich. I have seen that I've become rich and that the Lord has blessed me because of you." You could go that route, but in ancient culture, like, it would not be that unusual that your human beings of the time have tried to inquire of the gods as to what's going on. And whether it was actually God himself who would have said, "Yeah, I've blessed Jacob and you've gotten part of it," or some kind of demonic force is like, "He's blessed because of what the Lord is doing." You know, whatever the case might be. It could be some kind of divination like that. Olivia didn't like my demonic.
Just weird. Just weird.
It could be some kind of divination like that, or it could just be, "I've realized I'm rich because of you, so God must have blessed you." So, one way or another, do what you want with it. I think it could go either way. But Laban doesn't want to lose his nephew. Not the right word. No, is the right word.
Well, it's nephew and or son-in-law.
And son-in-law. Laban doesn't want to
But
lose
twice son-in-law.
Laban doesn't want to lose his nephew / twice son-in-law, not twice removed, just twice a son-in-law. And so he's trying to keep him because he wants to keep experiencing the blessing that's on Jacob. And so Laban says, "If I have found favor in your sight, I have learned by divination that the Lord has blessed me because of you. Name your wages." That's a big word in Jacob's story. Even a child is named wages. "Name your wages, and I will give it." Jacob said to him, "You yourself know how I have served you and how your livestock has fared with me. For you had little before I came, and it has increased abundantly, and the Lord has blessed you wherever I turned."
In other words, his livestock is as fruitful as he is.
That's actually, yes, that is a theme. Actually, one of the words that was used for you will have God saying, like, "I will bless you and you will have many descendants." One of the same words is in Hebrew, which is unusual, if I understand right, is used within the livestock and the livestock teemed. So there's a theme of like he's abundant, with the livestock. He's abundant with descendants. God's blessing is on him. But now, when shall I provide for my own household also? Jacob wants out. He said, what shall I give you? Jacob said, you shall not give me anything. If you will do this for me, I will again pasture your flock and keep it. Let me pass through all your flock today, removing from it every speckled and spotted sheep and every black lamb and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and they shall be my wages. All right, let's pause here. There's a lot of dialogue going on. It gets a little confusing. First off, Jacob is willing to give Laban stuff to get out of here. Jacob wants to leave. I'll give you stuff. Just let me leave. Jacob does not care about getting anything in return. One commentary pointed out, is like, he probably knows Laban's character at this point, that Laban's just not going to like give him anything in the first place or trick him in some way. So he tries to give Laban an offer that he can't refuse.
That was really bad this time.
He tries to give Laban an offer that he can't refuse. And did you catch the offer? Because I get lost in all the dialogue.
Well, it was every goat or lamb that had a speck of imperfection.
Yes. So Jacob said, I'll take care of your flock. Just let me pass through all your flock today, removing from it every speckled and spotted sheep and every black lamb and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and they shall be my wages. So he wants to take specific sheep, because there's all different kinds of sheep, and he wants to just take certain ones. Those ones will be my wages. And actually, if I remember right, I'm going to double check for us here.
Well, he said everyone that was spotted or speckled, so that's going to be the majority.
Well, that's the part that I'm just trying to remember. Coloring chosen by Jacob, dark lambs and variegated goats generally make up a very small proportion of the herd.
Oh.
Jacob seems to be settling for a share that was far smaller than usual, and that contracts of the day designated sometimes as much as 20% of new births for the shepherd. And Bedouin studies today suggest that 10% is common. So in other words, he's put on the table an offer you can't refuse.
Still didn't work. Good try, though.
He's essentially saying, like, I'll take a very small portion of the flock as my payment. Just let me out of here. So Laban hears that. It's like, okay, that's actually a very good deal. Okay. And then Jacob says, so my honesty will answer for me later when you come to look into my wages with you. Which I think is such an interesting phrase right there. Jacob and honesty.
Yeah, we haven't heard that before yet.
No. But Jacob has evolved as a character a little bit, right?
Yeah, he knows what it's like to be at the other end of the stick.
Yeah, because Laban has done everything to him that he did to his brother.
Right.
So he has evolved. He's still not a good family man and doesn't take care of...
Would it be evolved or just he has grown?
He's growing a little bit. So right here we have this growth possibly, where he's like, my honesty will answer for me later. Honesty. We'll see if that's the way it goes. Everyone that is... Olivia doesn't feel that already. Everyone that is not speckled and spotted among the goats and black among the lambs, if found with me, shall be counted stolen. Laban said, good, let it be as you have said. That day Laban removed the male goats that were striped and spotted, and all the female goats that were speckled and spotted, and everyone that had white on it, and every lamb that was black, and put them in charge of his sons. And he set a distance of 3 days' journey between himself and Jacob pastured the rest of Laban's flock. So in other words, Laban's already continuing his usual deception and trickery. He's moved all the animals that Jacob needs in order to get anything good out of this. He removes all those, so like he can't procreate more of these things that are going to give him more animals and things like that. And so he sends them all away and puts them 3 days ahead of him, so like you can't even go back and like steal them back or anything. What a great family. Everybody's Still trying to rip one another off. Then Jacob, this is where it gets interesting. Jacob took sticks of poplar and almond and plane trees, peeled white streaks in them, exposing the white of the sticks. He set the sticks that he had peeled in front of the flocks in the troughs, that is, the watering places where the flocks came to drink. And since they bred when they came to drink, the flocks bred in front of the sticks, and so the flocks brought forth striped, speckled, and spotted. We have just learned where Dalmatians come from. These are dogs that procreated in front of poplar trees. For when they stared at the dots of the trees, they imagined within their very own seed.
I don't think that's a thing.
Is that not what's going on right here? Tell me this isn't what's going on right here.
I mean,
It's what's going on right here. Essentially,
but how can that be? How can you like refer to that over to Dalmatians right away? Like,
did you want me to go with people?
no.
People
That doesn't make any sense.
who procreate in front of speckled walls create spotted children, Casey.
That, nope.
Do you believe it with people?
Nope.
Do you
No.
believe it with sheep?
No.
It's
No.
just as ridiculous. It doesn't matter. Do you believe it with a Dalmatian?
No.
No, because this isn't how science works. But this is literally what's going on. It's like, my sheep always do it right here. I'm going to put some speckles and spotted objects. So when they stare at that, it'll be so burned into their corneas that their children will feel it. Casey's just,
I'm still just
he's
trying
just
to-
staring at it, trying to figure out. And then he continues, so my honesty will answer for, no, is that where we left off? No, it's not where we
down
left
here.
off. Sticks. Yeah. And when they bred and came to drink, they brought forth striped, speckled, and spotted. And Jacob separated the lambs and set the faces of the flocks towards the striped and all the black of the flocks of Laban. And he put his own droves apart and did not put them with Laban's flock. Whenever the stronger of the flock were breeding, Jacob would lay the sticks in the troughs before the eyes of the flock so that they might breed among the sticks. Okay, all right. Now we have some science. With
Because
some...
he put the stuff in the water that they're drinking, so therefore he spiked the water to cause whatever's happening.
That wasn't where I was going. Do you think that works?
I could think that could work, yes.
I don't
I don't
know
think
that
that
I would
would
agree with that, but...
Well, because he placed it in the trough.
No.
Yeah, but
here's
putting
the-
sticks in the water still isn't gonna.
But if
force
there's
them
sap
to
on the
be-
water or on the
I
sticks,
don't think the sap is gonna cause them to be speckled though.
I'm with her on this one. There is at least one commentator that thinks you might be working to some possible science in his studies that I don't think is true.
You're saying
And
there's
he's-
a chance.
He's the only commentator I've heard agree that
well, how is that? Like, that at least makes some sense as opposed to.
it doesn't make any
like-
sense. It doesn't make any
Well, no,
sense.
if there was some poison or some, like, spot that killed part of the wool for the new animal that came out, that would cause some of the specks.
You realize that it's not bald spots that cause that. It's just darker fur.
I don't know. Anyway,
He's given up. He's done.
that's as far as I could go.
The science I was referring to is that whenever he sees the stronger animals getting ready to get it on, that's when he puts them out. In other words, he is a farmer. He knows that breeding strong animals together creates even
Strong animals.
stronger animals, right? And I'm going to stop there before I say something stupid. Whenever the stronger of the flock were breeding, Jacob would lay the sticks in the troughs. So he's using some hocus pocus and some science. That they may breed among the sticks, but the feebler of the flock, he would not lay them there. So the feebler would be Laban's, and the stronger Jacob's. Thus the man increased greatly and had large flocks, female servants and male servants, and camels and donkeys. So he is growing in the stature of their time with all of these things that he now has.
So, was this an ongoing deal that, like, he would always get the spotted ones moving forward? Or was there, like, a time frame for when this deal would end and then Jacob could finally go his own way?
I think there's a time frame. Like, they're on a journey right now. But eventually they're going to run into each other and they're going to make the trade. So, with Casey's wondering what's going on here with science and hocus pocus and what have you, here in chapter 31 is where we learn what was going on. Jacob flees from Laban. Is not a part I was supposed to read. It says, now Jacob heard that the sons of Laban were saying, Jacob has taken all that was our father's, and from what our father has gained all his wealth. And Jacob saw that Laban did not regard him with favor as before. Then the Lord said to Jacob, return to the land of your fathers and to your kindred, and I will be with you. So God is now sending him home. Just go, right? And God is going to go with him. And this is where he calls Rachel and Leah together and explains his whole plan. He said, I see that your father does not regard me with favor as he did before, but the God of my father has been with me. You know that I have served your father with all my strength. So again, he feels like he's been an honest person, right? Yet your father has cheated me and changed my wages. Again, that word always coming up in his story, 10 times. But God did not permit him to harm me. If he said, the spotted shall be your wages, then all the flock bore spotted. And if he said, the striped shall be your wages, then all the flock bore striped. Thus God has taken away the livestock of your father and given them to me. In the breeding season of the flock, I lifted up my eyes and saw in a dream that the goats that mated with the flock were striped, spotted, and mottled. Then the angel of God, who is God, is the angel, right? Then the angel of God said to me in a dream, Jacob, and I said, here I am. And he said, lift up your eyes and see. All the goats that make with the flock are striped, spotted, and mottled. For I have seen all that Laban is going to do. I'm the God of Bethel, where you anointed a pillar, his holy rock pillow. We have a whole episode on that. And made a vow to me. Now arise, go out from this land and return to the land of your kindred. Then Rachel and Leah answered and said to him, is there any portion of inheritance left to us in our father's house? Are we not regarded by him as foreigners? For he has sold us, and he indeed devoured our money. All the wealth that God has taken away from our father belongs to us and our children. Now then, whatever God says to you, do. All right. Why does Jacob have such good luck getting all of the sheep that he needs to collect?
Because God interceded.
Yes. Now, here's a cool thing on Jacob's part. He tried to be responsible for what he thought was responsible, right? God has told me I want these sheep. Well, using the folklore of his time, he tried to craft those sheep, handcrafted sheep, by throwing in unscientific hocus pocus into the mix. But ultimately, even Jacob knows who's responsible for the sheep coming out this way. God. Isn't it kind of a miracle that he got all the sheep that he wanted? Because he's breeding them
Right.
out of monochrome sheep, which doesn't usually give you all the kind of sheep that he wanted. Like, he's got like black and white to work from.
See, here's the thing though. Sometimes, because in Minecraft, when you breed sheep, sometimes you do get a random extra color randomly.
Okay, well, even like when dogs have puppies, they're not all the same color. So, of course, sometimes you do get the random. But the kind of success that he's having,
Yeah, that's weird.
it's just clear like God is on his behalf, genetically miracleizing to get the sheep exactly that he needs. So God gave him in a dream, here's the sheep that you want. Jacob is then being responsible with the folklore, magic, hocus pocus, whatever he thought would work. Probably for him, science, right? It was something that he thought like, okay, God wanted these sheep. This is what we do to get those sheep. So he tries to do that. But ultimately, we know his tactics did nothing, and that is completely in God's hand. So where does all of his blessing come from and his teeming of animals, teeming of descendants.
It comes from God.
And that's actually been a huge point throughout the last 2 episodes. I don't know if you've noticed, but like Leah had kids. Why?
Because God looked well upon her.
Yeah. And then Rachel had kids. Why?
Because God opened her womb.
And now Jacob has all the animals that he wants. Because why?
Sticks.
Because
God made
God.
them that way.
So like we're seeing the source.
Sticks in the water.
We're seeing the source of life as God. We're seeing the source of life as God. We're seeing the miracles of God. I mean, Rachel having a kid was a miracle. It was a miracle that these sheep are coming out the way that they are. Like, there's just a lot of miracles here. It's all on God's behalf. So we're again seeing the character of Jacob developing, becoming stronger, being faithful to God. And he's now had a dream of that angel that is God who's come. And the angel showed up in a dream, as he often does. And he's given him his new directions. Go home. Go home. Go home, Billy.
No, it's run home, Jack. Or
Run home, Jack. Where's he going? He's running home. Do you know this movie?
Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah, all right. We're finally on the same
It's
page.
been a long time since I've seen that movie.
It's been a
now.
long time since anyone's seen that movie.
That is true.
I kind of forgot that movie existed until
How
the church.
dare you? That's a. Do we
That's the
bring
only.
it?
That's the only sports movie he likes.
No, I've been watching others.
Sports movie.
Okay, fair. No, Remember the Titans. That's my favorite.
Fine. There's 2 sports movies he likes.
Well, with that being said, we are certainly into some interesting stuff. When I was a kid and I read this story, I was so confused. I was like, that's how it works?
No, it's not.
But like, as someone who is taught, like the Bible is God's word, and it's like you just read it literally exactly as it is. When I read this in high school, I was like, huh. I just don't know anything about farming. Ends up, neither did Jacob. But with that being said, we will catch you next time as we continue the story of Jacob, for he is pretty much going to continue for the rest of Genesis. Very interesting that like 20 chapters are going to belong to him in the end. So 25, 20, 30 chapters?
It's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of chapters. So in the meantime,
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below.
And we can continue this conversation on the Discord.
and we will catch you there. I said it's hocus pocus, Casey.